Phat Airlines takes the stage where we were, streaming high in the virtual air. World of airports, the game is live. He's landing planes with a vibe so fly. Phat Airlines, soar in the skies, stream in the hustle, watch the views rise. Pilots and planes, oh man, it's insane. Twitch and YouTube growing his name. From tarmac dreams to handles tight, every touchdown a perfect flight. He's a runway king, streak out the fog. Game so smooth, they call it airlock. Phat Airlines, soar in the skies, stream in the hustle, watch the views rise. Pilots and planes, oh man, it's insane. Twitch and YouTube growing his name. Chatting with the fans, call signs loud. Leader of the fleet, yeah, he makes us proud. Pushing content like a jumbo's thrust in Phat Airlines we trust. Pin the radar, he's live again. Communities tight like aviation. Friends like skyrocket, engine scream. Phat Airlines living in a stream. Takes the stage with fair lore, streaming high in the virtual air. World of airports, the game is live. He's landing planes with a vibe so ho. His name. Chatting with the fans, call signs loud. Leader of the fleet, yeah, he makes us proud. Pushing content like a jumbo's thrust. In Phat Airlines we trust. Ping the radar, he's live again. Communities tight like aviation. Friends like skyrocket, engine scream. Phat Airlines living in a stream.
Yo, what's up everybody? What's up? This is Jeremy with Phat Airlines. Nice to see you. And very interesting, my game's not showing up again. I don't know why this happens every stream now. Oh, I just dropped something. How you guys doing today? Today we are going to be playing some World of Airports, of course. And with World of Airports, we're going to... What are we going to do? We're going to play some San Diego. We're going to play some... what's the other airport? Prague. San Diego, we're pretty close to leveling up. Actually, we're not close to leveling up, but hopefully we can get some another next airport, which is Muscat. So hopefully we can get that pretty soon. I gotta figure out why my game's not showing up. That's crazy. But how you guys doing today? Oh, also I want to go over the patch notes because it's been a while since we talked about the patch notes, right? So I want to talk about the patch notes. But let me figure out what's happening here. Usually it's a quick fix. I just got to unplug it and plug it back in. Oh, now here we go. Nice. So yeah, I accidentally started the tutorial too, which is all right. We're back in. It's a beautiful day at San Diego today. Unlike the last time we were at San Diego, it was foggy. Today it is beautiful here. So we are before we get into San Diego though, what I do want to do is I want to talk about the patch notes, right? Because we didn't talk about 3.0.1, we didn't talk about 3.0.2. So I'm gonna mix this into my video, and I'll talk to you guys shortly after this. So yeah, in update 3.0.1, we got a few like fixes in 3.0.1, right? So we got some bug fixes like the UI with the requiring action. I know a lot of people were upset about that, so that has been fixed with the filters being corrected. Some pathfinding fixes at GRU, translation fixes, and shared stand configuration removed from IAD, stand 6A, D, 6A and D, 4C and 4E, and it's possible to assign a B category airplane to all these stands. Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember that they fixed that pretty quickly. 3.0.1 came out like a few days after 3.0, so that's pretty cool. They updated a larger touch area for sliders. They gave a player name, so we've been seeing that for the past couple of weeks now. Airline contracts type stars added. Oh, that was added in 3.0.1. That's pretty cool. Incorrect preview image. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Airport preview images now have rounded corners. Sell airplane button no longer displays the price above it. D planes now correctly depart with jet bridge connected. Interesting. Welcome screen clipping issue resolved, and radar map was fixed. So then we got update 3.0.2, which I think came out like, I forget when it came out. Oh, it says here April 21st, right? Around April 21st. So that's pretty nice. Right after Easter. And with this, they updated the UI to enlarge the touch zone for key UI elements. So they not only did they enlarge the touch zones in 3.0.1, but they also enlarged it in 3.0.2. So the UI, they improved the font sizes, contrast, color, spacing, overall readability. For the UI, they added the Airbus and Boeing pack information. Oh, let's take a look at that, because that was pretty interesting, right? So it says here now, when you click on the I for the Boeing pack and the Airbus pack, you can claim each airplane from this package at an airport of your choice that supports its class. House liveries are only available on these planes, and if you refund the in-app purchase, you keep the airplanes, but you lose 100 gold airplanes. I guess you can have negative gold planes now. I don't know. I wonder how that's gonna work, but that's pretty cool. I'd rather pay 100 gold planes than $20 myself, because I'm usually buying 900 gold planes at a time. But that's not an option. And then they updated the player connection pop-up window, which now displays the name properly. They fixed some Android issues. They fixed some camera bug issues. A lot of Android issues. Wow. Restored split screen and screen flipping functionality on Android. They fixed some Concord visual issues. Some more visual issues. Parking minigame. Fixed marshal sliding after completion? What? Fixed the camera behavior in the parking minigame for the Concorde and CRJs. In the UI, they fixed the incorrect notification when a player's airplane was handled by another player. Yeah, it used to say you were handled, like, it used to say Phat Empire handled your plane. It's like, that's impossible. You can't handle your own plane. At least at another airport. These display as negative values. Graphical glitch fixed. Fixed an issue where returning the main menu did not open the airport selection screen. Interesting. Fixed issues with random player arrivals, which I'm really glad about. I've been consistently getting player arrivals now, so that's really nice. Fixed issue where connection requests appeared on the airport selection screen, but no active contracts were available. That's good. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of my contracts. Like if I go to the airport selection screen and it says there's 3, there's actually 3. Some pathfinding fixes at St. Martin, Sao Paulo, and Washington. Washington graphical fix, GRU parking position and jet bridge obstruction fix. New Orleans runway audio call out was fixed. Parking bug at cargo stand 401 at Bari fix. And they adjusted Innsbruck for 767 player airplanes. Interesting. So those are the patch notes. for not only World of Airports 3.0.1 but 3.0.2. You know, World of Airports developers always they always like surprise me. I'm like never expecting an update, and I'm always happy whenever we do get one. So I'm pretty happy about that. Hopefully we see a nice major update maybe in the next 1 or 2 months, right? And we talked last week about some suggestions that we would like to see. I know there's a lot of cool ideas out there, and I'm really interested to see what actually comes out. I'm hoping that we see something along the lines of what is it called? Disabling stand sizes. That's like my number one request right now. You know, a lot of these airports, they have a limited number of stands, and being able to like disable stands would be just so helpful, so useful. But hopefully we see that eventually. Hopefully we see some of the other features you guys requested, like with new airplanes in the future as well. But guys, thanks for joining. I just needed to record that real quick because I had my 3.0 video, patch note video ready for the longest time. But at this point, I might as well combine it into a 3.0, 3.0.1, and 2 video all at once. So what's up, Noodle? Thanks for being here. Matzi's here. Dinju's here. Josh Videos is here. Raptor's here. To Jeremiah's here. Plane Addict, what's up, man? Dryan's here. Made to Move is here. Hockey Fan, even Voitando's here. Who's at a birthday party. SF Striker's here. Mert is here. C Club's Airline is here too. What's up, man? Yeah. So today's gonna be a quick stream. I know I gotta finish again at 2 p.m. So today we're playing our Phat Empire account, by the way. So Phat Empire is my stream only account, and that's the account we're on right now. We are playing San Diego today because at San Diego we need to reach level 54 to unlock Muscat, and I really want to unlock Muscat. Muscat is going to be an exciting airport to play, much more exciting to me than San Diego. I picked San Diego as the airport to unlock mainly because I thought it would help me with completing the airports faster, right? I completed Innsbruck, I completed Bari, and now we're at Prague. But like, it would be really hard just to be playing Prague and keep going, you know, from there. So like, oh, let me unlock San Diego. That way I can unlock Muscat, Leipzig, St. Martin, LHR, and keep going from there. And that didn't happen, right? So we're just struggling playing San Diego. But I think I'm enjoying San Diego just a little bit more now with this 3.0 update, right? So yeah, it kind of stinks that they did the reclassification of sizes, especially for like our 757s. But if you look at like over here where the X and L planes are, where you can handle D, E, and F planes, right? So, you know, like the A306, that used to be an L plane, right? But now it's considered a D plane. So this is one of the cool things that excites me about San Diego now, is that we have D stands, like stand 27, stand 26, 25 are D stands. Look, 16 is D, 13 is D, 8 is D. So that really opens up the airport. Like, yeah, for the 752s, it's not the greatest. But for like those other L planes, I can handle those at the D stands. So that is going to be pretty cool. I don't know if I have a lot of them though. Looks like I have a lot of 752s. I know like on my main account, that'll be pretty exciting because at least I can handle multiple like larger planes at once. So that's going to be pretty cool. But I know, I hope that's something that comes out in 3.1, you know, where we could get more of the D stands in other airports. I know somebody told me afterwards, after the stream, that they had messaged the developers on support or Instagram or somewhere, and the developers told them that that's one of the things that they're working on is adding or updating the stands to be more realistic to the airport. So that is going to be pretty cool. Am I in my main account? No, sir. We usually, the only time we play the main account or even the free-to-play account is like during special events. So like there's nothing special happening right now in World of Airports. We're just playing gaming. But so I'm playing my stream only account, the account that I only play on stream. So that is Phat Empire. And on Phat Empire, yo, thanks for the follow, Varku. So on Phat Empire, if you guys want to send me a contract, you have to go on Twitch. And on Twitch, you have to buy the redemption. Which, let me check to see if anybody bought one. Oh, yes, plenty of people bought. Let's go. We got a 767. We got a 738. Let's go. Oh, Noodle, thanks for being first, bro. Did I handle the Concorde? No, I did not, but that's a great idea. Thanks for the reminder. I landed these larger planes first. I mean, I really want to just finish San Diego, though. But I do like the update they made. The only bad part is like how, I don't want to say useless, but how different we have to use the 757s now. Which doesn't excite me. I would be better off if I was a new player right now. What's up, Riz? Riz asks, how do you get that much currency? Are you talking about Wallers? The gold planes on this account, I do buy them. So like gold planes, that'll happen. But I do always turn my silver planes as soon as I get 10,000 silver planes. As soon as I get 10,000 silver planes, I turn it into 10 gold planes. As soon as I remember to do it, as soon as I can. So that's why I don't have a lot of silver planes, but I do a lot of player contracts. Actually, I pretty much only have player contracts on this account, but I do a lot of player contracts, which help me with getting silver planes, especially once those contracts start completing. At first, right, because you're not getting rewards until you handle the plane 10 times. At first, it seems a little slow. You're not really getting XP immediately, but once those contracts hit the, that 10th handling, it adds up so fast. And then for Wallers, I'm always prioritizing handling the large and X planes, which are now DEF planes, right? And like this plane's making me 1,600. This one's 2,500, 2,900, 2,700. So that's some good revenue in there. And then also I have my own fleet planes. So like this is my fleet plane, but it doesn't have a contract right now. So here's a fleet plane. That's a E190. So an E190 coming from another player from like a regular airline would probably make you about 300 Wallers, but this is making me 1,000. That's almost as much as like some of these larger planes, right? So that's another way I get a lot of Wallers, is by using my fleet planes. Adel has a question: how to transfer contracts to different airports. There's no way to do that. Everything you do in the airport is pretty much tied to your airport. The only things that aren't tied to your airport are gold planes and silver planes, right? So your contracts, your airplanes, all of that are tied to your airport. The only another exception are like the airplanes that you get from like the premium pass and sometimes from the free pass, right? So you see right here, level 54, this B744. This B744 is only redeemable at San Diego. But you see over here next to it, and on both sides, on almost all sides, right? You have an A306F, an A333 airplane, and an A332 airplane. It doesn't have that, only in San Diego. So what that means, I mean, look at that, right? It's not there. What that means is when you get to that level, you can go to your fleet menu here, and you'll have that airplane available right here. And you'll see this is an airplane right here that says only available in San, but these are other airplanes that I've redeemed at other airports that I can redeem once, or however many, like how many planes I have. You can only redeem it once at an airport, and then it's gone from your list. But this is the way you can get airplanes for other airports, but you can only redeem it once. Now, Airplanes like this only available at SAN. I have 2 of these, so I probably should redeem them. But yeah, that's where we're at. What's up, Hammy? Thanks for the reminder about the Concorde. You're close to get Aviation Daily A388. I mean, it's really, this is the level where World Airports expects you to start handling X-planes. And now with the way like you have to unlock stands, that might be the case. But the cool thing with these stands over here is that these 4 stands are not A, B, C, D, E, and F. They're just D, E, F. So they're not going to be nearly as expensive as, let's say, a stand you would have to buy at LHR, right? Because all the stands at LHR, even all the stands that have F, you have to buy A, B, and C as well. But not over here. So these stands end up being a little bit cheaper to unlock. So I'm wondering how it would be for a brand new player at San Diego if it's easier for them to kind of unlock those larger stands sooner rather than later, you know? But I don't know. I think all the airports, Varku said, I think IAD should get an update. It got so many places where there's either E stands or has stands missing. Yeah, I think all the airports really need an update for their plane sizes, right? Which bot is broken? Did I see the dev blog to vote on an airport? I did not. I heard somebody talking about it, but I didn't see it. Let's take a look. Too many people trying to access the forum? Is that what's happening? Try reloading over here. Yo, what's up, Vigor? Nice to see you too. That's true, Hammy. Nobody's forcing me to buy a plane right now, so that's cool. That saves me some wallers. Is this it? Number 26? No, 26 is old. So I'm looking for the post because somebody said that there's a post on the forum that is about what voting on what airport we want to see next. I don't see anything. You would think it would be one of the top posts, but it's not there. Alright, let me see if somebody has a link. Go back to World Airports. I'm gonna look at chat and see where that link is. How many Go planes is Innsbruck? It's free, bro. I know you said for the premium pass, it's like 15. It's pretty cheap. What's up, burger guy? Africa airport I would choose? I have no clue, man. I don't know any airport in Africa. Zero airports I know in Africa. Alright, we're gonna land. I need to land player planes. So yeah, this is the way I typically play. Like when I'm on an account. I need to take off. When I'm on an account that doesn't have a lot of silver planes, I'm always activating the approach manager and leaving it on at like the lowest speed, and then just reactivating it for like 10-20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, to make sure I don't have to like renew the person. Once you have to renew the person, then it really kind of slows you. You have to pay a little bit more, but I'm always activating that tower manager. I was telling somebody in DMs the other day. They're like, what do I do to like get better at the game? I'm like, you got to use at least the approach manager. You know, even if you don't have a lot of silver planes and you're trying to get to 10,000 every week, I'm telling you, the approach manager just lands your planes much faster than you can. Even if you're paying attention to the game like constantly, it's gonna like the approach manager will automatically land, whereas you have to watch, wait, and then have super fast reflexes to push the clear to land button. So I'm always recommending the approach manager. It's good to have some of the other managers too, but the other managers are not nearly as like, I guess, required or like highly recommended as I say the approach manager is. I mean, it's nice to have the ground manager with the pushbacks, right? That's nice to have, but doesn't really make things faster, and it actually can make things slower in some ways. Like if you have a plane that's pushing back, like let's say this plane was pushing back and I had planes coming in landing, that would actually make things slower if the ground manager automatically pushed this plane back, right? That's not the case right now, but just as an example, Could you still sell old fleet planes for gold planes? Bro's been away for a while. No, as of like 2.0, that's no longer being a thing. Even I think actually 1.5 had that, but yeah, since 2.0, that hasn't been a thing. Selling your plane for gold planes. 2.0 came out like what, 2 or 3 years ago. Have you seen the CRJ2F? Bro, you need to sign up for my newsletter, bro. That's a silly question. If you signed up for my newsletter, I've seen plenty of the CRJ2F, because right now on the phatairlines.com email newsletter, we're actually giving away the CRJ 2F to anybody who replies back to the email. So yeah, I have plenty of them. I was working in the office the past few days, and I just didn't really pay attention to World of Airports much. So I have a lot of contract requests I need to send out, and I'm going to be sending them out later today. So for all you guys who are still waiting for an email back from me, it's coming. I promise. It's coming real soon. Future requests, airports. All right, let's take a look, Bert. Thank you for that. Feature requests, airports. This category is dedicated to collecting community requests for new playable airports and World of Airports. Have a favorite airport you want to manage in-game? Submit it here and help shape the future of the game. Create a new topic for each airport you'd like to suggest. Use the official template when submitting. Check existing requests to avoid duplicates. All submissions will be reviewed by moderators. Not a discussion area. Curated list of airport requests to help the development team evaluate the most wanted additions. Only playable airports are considered. Requests for background scenery or decorative airfields belong elsewhere. Alright, and what does this look like then? I guess people get to heart it, or how do you vote on it? Oh, right here, vote. Oh, cool. Okay, that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. So it looks like the developers on the World of Airports forum, along with the moderators, opened up a new channel, or new channels. Let's see if they have guidelines here. They have guidelines for game mechanics. So they have gameplay suggestion section. This is where you can suggest improvements to game systems, mechanics, UI, UX, contracts, balance, or any other features that affect WoA, how WoA plays and feels. One suggestion per topic, and start your topic with a category tag, UI, ATC, economy, multiplayer, or other. All right, that's cool. Let's see what the next one is. We have airplanes. Let's see what Kuba says about airplanes. Suggest new aircraft type you want to see in World of Airports. Only focus on aircraft model. If you want to do airline or paint scheme, use the airline liveries category. Interesting. Then we got airlines and liveries. You can request airlines or liveries for aircraft readily available in WoA. This is a place to request it. All right, cool. That's pretty interesting, actually. We're gonna have to maybe spend next week going through some of these recommendations and maybe, voting on it ourselves. I think that would be a cool idea. But there's so many. It's like, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see, like, why do you think this airport is worth it versus some other ones? So I guess we'll have to see. We'll go maybe next week. That's what we'll do. We'll go through the forum here and see what's happening. We'll have to do it with World Airports in the background, so that way, so we'll do it like this or something, so that way my game can keep playing. But that's pretty cool. Thanks for direction, Mert. The departure manager is recommended too because of the extra step for departures in 3.0. That's true. Not only do you have to line up the plane, but now you also have to tell the plane to take off. And the departure manager takes care of both of them. The only thing is, and also how planes don't actually leave your airport until they take off from the runway. So once I hit takeoff on this, that's when that airplane shows up as a departure. Unless it's already departed, which I don't think it has. So now we have this E190. I push takeoff, and here it is right there. 6 minutes? Oh, an hour, 6 minutes. Okay. I was like, that thing is faster than a Concorde. So, that's pretty cool. Doesn't the email newsletter feel like much work for you? It's actually pretty cool. The work part is sending the contracts in a timely manner, but it's also free for everybody. So I'm not in any kind of contractual obligation to get everybody everything immediately. Now, I do request that people accept the contracts back in 2 or 3 days, maximum. But no, it's pretty nice. I like playing, World of Airports. The hardest part though is when I run out of wallers, because I hate buying wallers with gold planes. So I try to play the airport a little bit more, so that way I can earn some more money, and then I can, send some more planes. But that's usually the problem I run into is lack of money, of wallers, not really lack of anything else. All right, so we need to land an E or an F plane. Do you have any F planes? That was another feature I saw last week, was somebody requested to see a filter based on plane size. And man, right now I would really love to see that filter for E or F plane sizes. Even though they increased the size of these cards, it's still kind of small. Mert says this over here, this feature request, especially for airports, is most likely preparation for generic airports. I want to see a dev blog on generic airports. I mean, which I want to have more info about generic airports. Just signed up for Phat Airlines website. Nice. So my main and then he asked, what would be the best social media platform to DM you about our contracts? I don't know, man. It really depends. Discord is where I'm most active, but I get so many DMs that I end up ignoring most of them now. you could email me, but then your emails are going to get lost in the sea of contract emails as well. So I don't know what the best way. I guess maybe pinging me in like the contract chat channel, but sometimes there's so much discussion there, it could get lost too. But I guess Discord is probably the best way. I don't really like DMs though, because for the most part, a lot of people are DMing me questions that like aren't like, I don't need to be the only one answering that question. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what is the best plane for me to buy? Like, bro, that's not a DM question, man. But like, if you're asking me about like our contract, like, hey, can you send me back my my plane from your San Diego, Phat? And I'm like, oh yeah, my bad. I haven't played San Diego in a while. I'll log in tonight and play. That is fine. But then people ask like, oh, what's your favorite plane? It's like, bro, that's not a DM. That doesn't need a DM. That doesn't need a message. You could put that in a public channel. Oh, look at this. Another completed contract right there. Let's go. Brian Ho wants to see Anchorage in the game. I know during one of the recent Acid developers, the developers did talk about doing a cargo overhaul soon. And then they also kind of mentioned that Anchorage might be an airport, but then afterwards they talked about generic airports. So I'm not sure if Anchorage is going to be like a generic airport that then has to get voted on or become a major airport, a main airport, playable airport, or how else that's going to work. If Russia ends Ukraine war, I mean, it could go either way, right? Ukraine could end the war too. Is what we're going to add it? What is it? But I'm guessing you're talking about Russian airlines, Russian airplanes, Russian airports. I believe that's the intention. I know the developer said it's not in their hands, and it's not. If you guys understand where the developers live and the laws of the land, some things they just can't do, and supporting Russia is one of them. And I know some of you guys might not think by having airplanes or airports in the game might not be supporting, but I wouldn't want to get arrested. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to get arrested. But I'm not from the Czech Republic. I'm from USA. But even still, out of their hands is what we can say right now. Is what they've said. What's up, OP Roy? Shady Ammo's here. Parku on Twitch is accepting all planes to IAD, aviation _ Cal. Nice. Josh Videos, you wouldn't have any player contracts if it wasn't for a Phat Airlines channel? Well, nice. I'm glad I was able to help you, but yeah, that's actually pretty nice, man. I'm glad that opened your eyes. I don't know how else to word it, but that's pretty cool. Do you have contracts with just me, or do you have other people as well? Because I know we have like I have so many methods that you can get contracts with me. It's a lot, right? I have Discord. We have Discord plane giveaways. So on Discord, I host a giveaway on Discord. So that way, in a certain period of time, I get to pick what that period of time is, or whoever the VIP is can pick that. I pick the plane, I pick the airport it's coming from, and I can also pick what airport it's going to. And anybody who enters the giveaway before it ends has an equal chance at winning that plane. And sometimes there's more than one plane available too. So that's one way you can get a contract with me. You can simply just make a post on the contract board on Discord, and that's another way to get a contract with me. Every once in a while on YouTube and Twitch, we'll do some giveaways. We haven't done that recently, mainly because I haven't figured out how to separate it from YouTube and separate Twitch. So that's one of my struggles right now, but I'll figure it out eventually. What else? We used to have giveaways here on stream. We had the Phat Airlines email newsletter, which I implemented because a lot of you guys were saying, "Oh, I don't have Twitch," or "Oh, I don't have Discord." So I was like, "All right, everybody has an email, right?" And like emails don't typically get blocked like that. It might show up on your spam folder, but all you got to do is find it and mark it not spam. So yeah, we got the email newsletter. How else do I give away planes? The contract board. So I really don't have anything on Facebook yet, but I'm pretty small on Facebook. I think I don't even have 100 followers on Facebook. I don't even have 100 followers on TikTok. I do have like 800 followers on Instagram, so I probably got to do more for my Instagram peeps. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start doing some giveaways on Instagram now. I have the capability of doing it too, where I can have everybody who posts or comments on a post with a specific keyword, they can get entered for an airplane. So I have that capability. So I'll probably end up doing that real soon. But my goal is I want to make it like easier for people to get player contracts. So yeah, I have ways that people can get contracts with me, but I also try to make it easier for other people to also do the same things. That's why I let VIPs do contract giveaways, because VIPs typically are the ones playing the game a lot too. And then we're also, I keep saying this, but I haven't really had a chance to really test it out yet. But we are working on a way to, how do I put this? We're working on a way to allow non-VIP users to also host giveaways. So that is coming real soon. It's already built out. I just got to test it out, see if it works the way I wanted it to work, and then go from there. I spent a lot of time on that. Should WoA remove the AN225 that was destroyed back in 2022? I feel like that would be a waste of resources. I feel like that would be a waste of resources. They already spent the resources to put it in the game. Like, yeah, it's no longer in existence, but now it's more like a memorial, in memory. And I think I read, well, back in 2022 when it was destroyed, I thought I read that they're considering like rebuilding it or refurbishing it or fixing it. So we'll see what happens. Bro has 93 contract slots available. Nice. You gotta buy some planes, man. When you got that many contract slots available, buy some planes. It's so much easier when you have your own plane to find somebody else who will accept it at their airport than it is to find somebody who's going to send you a plane. It takes so much more effort to get people to send you a plane than it is for people to ask you to send you. Sorry. Yeah, it's just easier for you to send a plane to somebody else. So many more people are willing to accept it, but like saying, hey, I got spots available at my IAD, everybody send me planes, and you'll probably get like 2 people will send you a plane. But if you say, hey, I got 5 planes available from my LHR to your IAD, and you'll get like 10 people saying, yeah, I'll take it to my IAD. Jamal France said, I redeemed last week. Yeah, bro, you redeemed the wrong thing. Well, one, I refunded you your points, so you can redeem it again now if you want. But last week, when you did the redemption, you redeemed the regular contract, and I never got a contract from you. So and then I was asking you about it, and you never responded. So you must have stepped away or something. But there's two options in the contract redemptions, right? On Twitch. You have one option where it's I accept the plane that you send me. Like Seabird, he sent a few planes here. I know they have to redeem a few. Who else? Anybody who wants to redeem me to accept that plane that's pending here needs to redeem it. And then you have the fat plane contract, right? So those fat plane contracts are ones that are coming where I buy that plane and I send you that plane. So in this case, I have the wallers to buy it, but even if I didn't have the wallers to buy it, then I would go ahead and just spend the gold planes on wallers so I can buy a plane for you. You're broke at Prague Airport. You want to, you just got to handle planes. That's literally all there is to it in World of Airports. But in general, what you probably should do, depending upon how broke you are, like, can you even afford a ramp agent? Is that how broke you are? If you can't afford a ramp agent, then you really want to probably land an X plane, which is now an F size plane, in your airport. Because, like, look at here. I mean, this is an E plane, right? But like 1,600, like just handling that one larger plane is going to help you with making some money. So at least now you can afford the ramp agent. If you have your own planes already in your airport, definitely land those planes first, because your own planes are going to make you more money than somebody else's planes. So landing your own planes is always a good idea, especially when you don't have a lot of wallers. Landing your own airplanes just gets you more wallers in your bank account. What's the best G-class plane you can buy? You can't buy any. Only one G-class plane, and it is not available for purchase. You can get it at Leipzig in the premium pass. So once you reach a certain level at Leipzig, then you can get the A225 available in your fleet at Leipzig, which is really, really cool. One of the reasons why I think Leipzig is one of the best premium passes, because you get the Beluga, you get the A124, and you get the A225. So really, like, three great exclusive cargo planes that you can't even unlock normally in the game. So I think that's pretty awesome. Yo, what's up, Redline? You've done so many contract forms. It's been a day still waiting, bro. A day is nothing. Think about it this way, right? Well, one, you don't know how many people are ahead of you sometimes with these contract forms. But like, I'm going to tell you how it is on my email side, right? Because on my emails, let me check my emails right now. On my emails, when I last checked, I had 30 emails pending for Phat Airlines, right? So 30 people were waiting for email for a contract for me. So let me see where I'm at now. Wow. I'm at 51 unread messages in my emails right now. So that means a few guys are super polite and say thank you, which is, I appreciate. I'm not AI. I'm human, so I don't. I'm not upset by people saying please and thank you, like the AI creators are. Doesn't cost me anything. But anyways, so I have 51 emails, right? And that means I have about maybe 45 to 50 contracts to send out. And not like, sure, World of Airports makes it very easy now to buy multiple planes, right? You go into offers, you go to configure and buy, and then you could just hit the plus button up to 10. So they make it really easy now to buy multiple airplanes. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to send out contracts, right? Because when it comes to a contract, I still need to land that plane. I have to wait for that plane to taxi to the stand. Then I have to wait for it to actually park at that stand. And then I have to assign the contract. I have to go to the airport. And then I have to say, type in the player name. Some of you guys' player names are not the easiest to type in either. And then I have to wait. So like if the waiting is the hardest part, or the most annoying part, because for me, waiting, what's happening is now that stand is completely occupied. I can't handle another plane. I can't get that plane out of there. So it's essentially holding one of my stands hostage. So what I do, and I don't know if other players do this, but I feel like it makes the most sense to me, at least. But what I do is I will handle all of the planes that need to be handled first, and then I land all the planes that I purchased that needs to be assigned. That way, when I'm done with the airport, when I assigned all the planes and spent all the time typing in everybody's individual names, then it doesn't feel bad that those stands are occupied, because it's time to switch to another airport anyways. It feels even worse though when I come back the next day and less than half of them have been accepted. I get it though, we're all on different time zones, but it really, like, think about it that way. If somebody's getting 45 or more, even like 5 contracts, that's 5 stands that are now limited by that other person's response rate. So it gets a little rough. So they might only do 1 or 2 at a time, wait for that 1 or 2 people to accept their contract request, and then push them back, and then they land another 2 planes. That might be a way that I can do it in the future, but it's easier said than done, is what I'm trying to say. And 1 or 2 days is nothing. The fact that I get most of my contracts out, I try to get them out immediately, but I'm still, let me see here. I still have April 22nd emails to work on. So if anybody sent me an email from April 22nd to today, I'm sorry, I still have to work on you guys. But you will get emails. You will get planes. One other thing that I'm going to do with the Phat Airlines newsletter soon is giveaways, random giveaways. And the way that'll work is very similar to our contract emails now, but I want to be able to offer some larger planes, like the A388, the 777s, 767s, but there's no way I can afford to buy, hundreds of A388s in any of my airports. I just don't have 40 million wallers in any airport, right? Maybe one day I will, and then I could just do a giveaway for everybody. But until that day happens, I just don't have the wallers to do that. So I think what we're gonna do is start introducing a new email that's like a almost like how our Discord giveaways work, where everybody has an equal chance at winning. All you gotta do is hit the button. Something similar for the email. You all have a equal chance at winning. All you gotta do is reply back, then you're entered to win, and then we randomly select the number of winners, based on how many winners we have. And then you guys get the whoever wins gets the contract. So I think that's one of the things we're gonna start doing soon, to kind of at least get some more larger planes out there, because I know small and medium planes are nice, but man, it's really nice to get those larger planes. DK said I experienced that on the forum. I had a queue request of 12 players at my Muscat, and that process was getting 315,000 wallers to send a 789 to each of them. Oof. Yeah, see, it's so easy to say and to talk about, but like when you're actually doing it, it's so much harder. Which premium pass could pay for itself in terms of silver planes? Innsbruck. I mean, all of them technically do, because they all give you fleet planes, right? They all give you planes that you can use in your fleet. None of them are going to play, like, so you could earn silver planes from those fleet planes, and you could earn, buy more fleet planes with the wallers that you earn. But as far as like directly, I mean, no premium pass is giving you like 50,000 silver planes. Like, that's not happening. You're getting like maybe 10,000, maybe 20,000 total throughout all the levels. But Innsbruck is so cheap, so that's the one that you're easily making your money back. Hammy said, I prefer landing other planes first. That way I am not holding any other player planes hostage. And they, my planes, so that way they're the last to land. And then my planes, so that they are the last to land, especially while renewing contracts and stands being held hostage. Yeah, that's fair. Completely fair. I like to land my planes first, mainly because I want to get more wallers. But I like that you're thinking of others. You know, that's real nice. I'm doing my planes first because I want the wallers. But you know, for these plane contracts that I'm sending to, where everybody gets a plane contract, it's expensive. Even just buying, like, I think so far I've already purchased like 40 CRJ2Fs. And how much is a CRJ2F? I forgot already. Let's extend the timer one more time here. CRJ2F, wrong menu. I gotta go to fleet, configure and buy. CRJ2F is 25,000. So buying 4 of them is already cost me $1 million, or 40 of them, I should say, cost me $1 million. So buying another 50, you know, with the 50 contracts I have pending, is a lot of money. That's why, you know, it gives me reason to, like, I don't mind. It gives me reason to keep playing like other airports. Like, I go back into Muscat like a lot more frequently now because I know I have a lot of player contracts there now. Same thing with Leipzig. I go there often. I think next email contract that we do though might come from like New Orleans or probably New Orleans. But like, there's no medium plane that can make it from New Orleans to GRU. I want to do a contract that can go to GRU, but GRU is really like, and I'm not doing contracts. I'm not doing medium plane contracts from St. Martin. There's no way I'm hosting that. Maybe Noodle. Where's Noodle? Noodle, you want to host that? Noodle mainly plays St. Martin right now, I'm pretty sure, and so I'm just like, you know, just having fun. What if WoA was gonna add more small planes like the Cessna or others? So that is something that's in their roadmap, it sounds like, right? So they have business jets and general aviation, aka BJ and GA. So we're gonna see those probably in the next year, I would say. I mean, we had to wait for 3.0 to come out, and then 3.0 we had to wait for bug fixes, right? Now there might be like one more round of bug fixes, but I haven't really been running into that many bugs in 3.0.2. So maybe we're heading into the next cycle where they're past the bug fixes and moving on to new features again. So hopefully that's what they're working on. We might see a 3.0.3, but I don't have any like glaring bugs, you know. There was like some small minor bugs even that were fixed in 3.0.2 that weren't even in the patch notes. For example, like one of the things I noticed, if you still have transferred planes, you know, like transferred fleet planes from before 2.0, before 3.0.2, it would say like you could only redeem them at Innsbruck, which was a typo. It was a graphical bug, but now it says the correct airport. But like, I wasn't even going to report that because it's like, it's like, how many people at this point have transferred planes still in their airport? I do, because I just have so many planes, but I need to transfer them in. QJ asks, can't you copy it out of your email? That works pretty well when I'm playing World of Airports on my MacBook, because then I can copy the email from my MacBook directly into, you know, World of Airports. But I don't really have I don't like the app to check my email on my iPad. Whoops. I don't like the app to check my email on my iPad, because it doesn't really even let me copy the text properly. So it doesn't work that way. I have to look over on my computer screen, type it in manually, and then sometimes with these player IDs, I don't know if anybody else has this problem too, but man, finding out what's an L, what's an uppercase I, ugh. And then sometimes people have 2 of that letter in their username. Oh, it gives me such a headache. I'm like typing in lowercase L, uppercase I, and it's like trying to find the right combination. It's like crazy. One thing WoA should add is being able to see where the plane came from when landing instead of planes just appearing from nowhere. But oh, so you want to see like a queue of planes in the air waiting, like in UATC almost? I mean, I guess that could work, but like that would only work if you had a tower manager active, you know? If you didn't have a tower manager, then you can't have that. I mean, I guess that would be cool. Thank you, Hockey Fan. Hockey Fan said the fact that you take the time to do this is flat out amazing. Doing all the time it takes for it. Much kudos to you. Yeah, you know, it started off for me like small, you know, just posting videos, and then you know I saw there's a greater need for more. But that's why, you know, this year I'm actually looking for sponsors. So that's one of my goals for 2025 is to find sponsors. And in the past like 2 or 3 weeks, what I've been doing was actually building up my media kit so that way I can approach sponsors with like my metrics. I'm also going to like let the VIPs, anybody who's already like a member, you know, anybody who already like supports the channel, like financially directly, you know, so those are like the VIPs, right? So you're a VIP if you can be a VIP for free by reaching a certain level in Discord activity. But you can also be a VIP by becoming a member on YouTube, or by subscribing on Twitch, or by becoming a subscriber on Discord. We're going to also have a way to be a member via the website directly, which is going to have a few more perks as well. But I'm also going to let the VIPs know about the sponsorship stuff. So that way, if they want to sponsor a stream or something like that, they can have the opportunity as well. But that's one of my goals this year, because you know, like my video editing costs money, gold planes cost money, and it's a lot of time too. But a lot of you know, I'm not really necessarily always sitting at my iPad just playing World of Airports. I'm usually doing multiple things and having all the tower managers on, and World of Airports is kind of like on autoplay, except for, you know, the handling of the airplane, or the beginning of the handling of the airplane. But even still, it's time. So I appreciate that, Hockey Fan. Thank you very much. Not hard to check player requests. Maybe I'm out of context there. We should add emergency landing like gear malfunctions and engine failure. That is your thought. I don't like the idea of having plane crashes or anything going wrong with the planes. We get enough of that in the news, and it's so blown out of proportion, man. Like, they make it sound like, you know, the next flight you're gonna go on is gonna crash, but that's not how it works. You're more likely to get into an accident on your way to the airport than you are once you're in the airport, you know. But the news always messes that up, and I don't want that in my games. I don't think World of Airports wants it in their game either. So like, what you're more likely going to see is like a medical emergency type of, you know, scenario, not anything where a plane or an airline or something like that is going wrong. DK said, "Fat, it's a good idea to copy my suggestion made in your Discord server about the filter by size." Yeah, I would put it in all the channel outlets, especially the official outlets. I do know the developers like watch some of the streams. I'm not sure if they watch all of them, but I know they watch some of them, right? So they like, I saw JD Robots here last week, right? He was in the chat for a minute. Or he might have been watching our suggestion stream, right? So JD Robots is like one of the developers of the game, and you know, might take some of that information, take it back to the team over there in World of Airports and see what they can do about it. But if especially if Kubasan is the one making the post, right? He made the rules for that suggestion area on the forum. I would definitely like make a post there as well. Kingdom doesn't like the new update much. I think how much have you played it? Everybody who's kept playing it after like the first few days have gotten used to it, and a lot of their complaints have been resolved now with the 3.0.1 and 3.0.2 updates. There are still a few concerns in there, like some text is small, things like that, but I think a lot of people are still playing. Any advice on starting up Nagoya? I mean, at Nagoya, at every airport, I'm really going to rush to like buy one of the larger stands, right? Because I want to get some large plane contracts from other players. Now you can't really start off with a ton of large plane contracts because you just don't have the handling crew or the contract capacity or the stands to do a ton of, you know, large planes. But a few contracts here and there can really help you out. Now, with the change where you have to buy all of the smaller stands in order to get the larger stand, I would definitely consider unlocking more B stands or using the A stand unlock to get more handling crew or to get more contract capacity. So that could be a good option to help you with, you know, at least getting more contracts, because getting more contracts is like step one to getting more XP, leveling up faster, getting more wallers, doing all of that. So definitely unlock some A stands. You know, if you can, also unlock the B stand, because you're going to get a lot of local contracts that are those smaller planes. Actually, at Nagoya, you might even get some contracts that can land at that A stand. So that's going to be nice, because only like St. Martin and Nagoya, I think, really get that A plane. But yeah, that's what I would do. Rush to get one, you know, D, E, or F stand, and then unlock all the other stands with A. And then, you know, of course, upgrade those A stands to whatever stand size they need to be in order to handle more planes at once based on how much handling crew you have. Would you recommend unlocking the CRJ-2F? I've really only used it at Leipzig right now, but it seems pretty cool, because at Leipzig I could use it from Leipzig I could send it to Prague, which is a really cool, because Leipzig and Prague are like they're the closest airports to each other in the game. So the fact is, if somebody's playing Prague while I'm playing Leipzig and we're sending planes, we can get like 5 handlings done pretty quickly. Even more, depending upon how long I'm at Leipzig or how long they're at Prague. You could also send a CRJ-2F from Leipzig to LHR. You could send it to Bari. You cannot send it to Innsbruck, though. So I think it's a pretty decent. It seems pretty okay. I haven't really tried it in other airports to see like where it can go, but for the cargo airport, it seems like a good small decent B plane. N or St. Martin are no fun to do email giveaway from. Yeah. Boyton says, is it possible to do a mail contract tomorrow so you don't have to make it every 2 weeks yet? No. I'm not ready to do to bring you on. Thank you for your offer. I'm like 10 minutes behind the chat, but I'm coming back. Yo, Noodle said they can do a GRU contract for 20 to 30 BCS ones. Nice. That's kind of impressive, man. Watching this drop on Twitch. Oh, Yamo with the 91. What's up, Ruben? Who's this one going to? Player 614-688-4011. Nice. That's the worst part about these player names is like I have no clue who this is. And I'm never going to remember it either. Like when you have a random string of numbers, I might end up remembering it eventually, but it's going to take a long time. You're going to Langley Air Show? Nice. A pilot died. That's sad. QJ said 3.0.2 is worse. Too much increase of buttons. That's my opinion. Yeah, World of Airports can never please everybody, right? You got the old people with the, you know, bad eyes being like, oh, I can't see my game. And then you got the young people who are like, now it's too big. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. Everybody loses. We didn't even get a level here today. That's kind of sad. But that's why we got to keep playing some San Diego. Because like I'm not gonna make progress on these contracts if we never play. And then of course these people also aren't gonna play these airports if I'm never playing this airport, right? So like that's gonna. Oh, but next week we're gonna finish this 748F, so that's gonna be nice. 748F is some good XP as well, so that's exciting. Got some planes that haven't been handled yet, but I think I played San Diego like 3 weeks ago, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that as well. I can't be like super strict when I'm barely even handling it myself, right? So one of those scenarios. We got Hammy with the 7 out of 10, nice. Got Concord. And what's the next airport we're playing? I think Prague, right? So yeah, I'm familiar with Langley. I've never been to Langley though. The Air Force Base there. I don't think I have. Maybe I have been. But like if I have been, it was like decades ago. All of the planes that are almost complete are already hearted. That is good, which means I have a ton of planes that are not almost complete that still need to be handled. Vigor said the progress to level up at BKK is hard. You're struggling to get player connections. That's why you're always better off just buying your own planes. And eventually what ends up happening is people like the cool thing about buying your own planes is that when you connect with like me or other like larger players like Hammy, David Elio, Mert, you know, Voitando, some other people, Noodle, who's wrecked on in WoA. But like once you start sending planes like those to other players, they see your name every day. You know, every time that they're playing World of Airports, I'm seeing your name, right? I'm seeing your plane, your airplane. I'm seeing your name, and it reminds me, oh wow, this guy is an active player. He's playing every single day. I want to play with this guy more frequently, right? That's what's going through in my head. I want to play with this guy more often. So then that's essentially how you start getting more and more contracts to your BKK or any airport really, because people get familiar with your name, not by you spamming people, but by you handling your planes on a regular basis. And it's even better when it's you sending the planes, because, for example, with this plane right here, all I'm seeing is Phat Empire, right? So I have to go in here, and then I realize, oh, this is going to SFF Airlines. But if I'm not looking and clicking, all I know is this is my plane. I don't necessarily know it's going to, you. I know, but this plane right here, oh, I know it's coming from Nathan Guarino, right? So there's so much benefit for you buying more planes. And also, it's easier to find a contract once you have a plane to send to somebody than it is for somebody to send you a plane. That's just how it is. But I get it. CRJ-2F is the only cargo plane that can do Leipzig to Bari. Nice. So North Red Line, you want to, sorry to hear about the problem you're having, but you want to check out, I have a video on it too, where it's like, help, I lost my WoA account, but like check out in the forum, this support and help post. You have Flyboys, Kubasan, posted how you can recover your account, and essentially there's a couple steps you have to do. They're working on ways to kind of make it not as hard, right? But you have to, essentially either try to link your account. If that works, then great, but otherwise you got to close the game, you got to log out of Game Center, you have to reopen the game, then sign back into Game Center, and then try to link your account, and that should work. For Google Play, it's kind of the same, but you also have the option to clear your cache, which it doesn't exist in, well, iOS. Clearing your cache is force closing the game. So, yeah. Try that out with your account, and also email support if that doesn't work, because support, I've heard, is really, really good at helping people get back into their accounts, especially if you think it's lost. And I know how it is, especially when that first happened to me, where my account didn't come back up. It's like I got shocked. I was afraid, like, oh my gosh. Will you ever play Bari again? If not, I'm canceling contract request for the DH64 that gave you Prague. So Bari is definitely... What's up, Manika? Nice to see you first off. But Bari is going to take a back seat for sure. That's going to be like... It's going to be more like Innsbruck, where it's like... If there's a reason for me to go to Bari, then I'll go there. Like, if there's an update and we want to take a look. But, yeah, I would say go ahead and cancel it. And you can feel free to send it to somebody else. Thank you for that DH64, because that really did take me over the hump there to unlock Prague. Can you get a plane to Washington? Every once in a while, I do plane giveaways on the Phat Airlines Discord. Not often we have planes on the emails that can go to Washington, because Washington is typically the airport that I'm sending planes from. I'm not really sending planes from San Diego. Maybe New Orleans, I can send a few more, C-class planes, but can't really do too much of that. Washington, I just have so much contract capacity and so many wallers, so it makes it doable for me. But the other airports, much harder. All right, it is 12:30, so I'm gonna switch airports now. Once the timer runs out. But we got 6 minutes on that. That can push back. I guess we should land one more larger plane. We'll do that too. Is there any way to make our account to be saved and out in another phone? All you gotta do is log into the same Apple Game Center account and log into the same or log into the same Google Play account on the other device. Now, you can't play at the same time on both devices. The game will log you out saying it's seen activity somewhere else. But definitely doable. That's how I'm playing. That's how I play on my iPad or on my MacBook on my main account. Definitely doable. Are we expecting Muscat next stream? Nah, not at all, bro. I'm at level 47 and I need level 54. And it looks like there's only one plane that is close to finishing. And I mean, that's my fault though, right? If I don't play San Diego, how am I gonna level up San Diego? It's like people asking me how do I make more wallers, and they don't even play the airport. It's like you have to play the game in order to make money, right? to get wallers. So step one, play the game, and that I'm failing on step one. So let's see if I can not fail step one and actually play the game. Play some San Diego. It was a local account? Oh, that sucks, man. But that's not recommended typically to use a local account. That's why at first I would never accept contracts, or I would never accept contracts. I used to never accept contracts from people with player names, player, and then the random string of numbers. I would never accept those contracts. Never. Because I knew they were local contracts, and I knew at a certain point the contract was going to go inactive because they either changed their device or they like bought a new device, and then they get locked out and they no longer can access their old account. It was a local account. Kind of sad. Kind of sad. Art also misses when we can unlock fleet planes with silver planes. Yeah, man, that's why you always have to take advantage of the features that we have now. You have to take advantage of it now. So, like, what if you don't have the A388? You should work towards unlocking the A388 because, like, So after all the planes get a remodel or a rework or an update, World of Airports recently have been updating the price on all those airplanes, right? So the A388 is actually like one of the remodel planes, but it doesn't have the updated price because it was an updated plane before World of Airports started updating the gold plane price. So I wouldn't be surprised. We could see at any update, the A388 might get a price increase, right? And it'd be totally validated or totally okay because it's an updated model. It'd be in line with all the other updated models, like the 77W. I think the 77W is like 56 gold planes, and the A388 is not nearly that much. So I'm just trying to tell you, you should unlock the A388 now before the price gets higher, because after the price goes up, you're going to be like, man, I wish I could unlock the A388 for 30 gold planes. I wish I was back in those times. Same thing with like the E175, the E190, those Boeing seaplanes, right? The 738, the 734, all of those planes haven't had a remodel, don't have a price increase yet. You're gonna wish you unlocked it back then. Now is back then. So if you have the gold planes and you're considering those planes, you definitely want to take a look into unlocking them, because those planes are not going to be cheap forever. I mean, look here. We're going to go to offers, configure, and buy. Let's go to my locked planes. Like the E170 is 3 gold planes, right? And whereas like a DH8C is 4 gold planes, and it's a cheaper plane. So like that's a plane that hasn't been updated in price. If we look like the A20N, this is a plane that has been updated in price. 20 gold planes, 22 gold planes. And then we look at some of the Boeing planes, like the B-38M, which is only 10 gold planes. Might want to unlock it now before it doubles in price. B-734, 7 gold planes. 734F, 7 gold planes. 738 is 8 gold planes. BCS 1 and 3 already, increased price. E190, 4 gold planes. Pretty cheap. A306, now it's a D plane, so it might have some kind of a different use than what as an L versus like how it was as an L plane. So that might be something you might want to consider, especially when you compare it to a 762, which is 32 gold planes, twice as much. So something to keep in mind, because a year from now, or even months from now, when after those prices get implemented, you're gonna wish that you bought those planes today, so just buy them as soon as you can, because you never know when it's gonna get changed. Would you consider landing the A388s and sending them that way? You can be able to get enough XP to get Muscat. Oh, true that. That's actually a good idea. I do want to play some Prague. So I think what Hammy is referencing, and let me know if I'm wrong, but I have these A388s right here, which have canceled contracts. So I think what I'll do is I'll do a giveaway on Discord. Well, actually, let's do it right now if I can. Discord. All right, we got Discord. We're gonna go to bot stuff, and we're gonna do a giveaway aircraft. Now this is gonna be a week long, okay? Actually, less than a week. Airport is not A388. Airport is San Diego. Plane type A388. Duration. Let's do 6 days, 12 hours. Does that work? I hope that works. And we're gonna do one winner. Please provide a valid time. Oops. All right, hold on. Let's do some math. So 6 times 12. Oh, wait, 6 times 24. What's 6 times 24, guys? 6 times 24 is 144. Plus 12 hours is 156. All right, let's go. 156 hours. Let's copy this. Copy command. Paste. And we got our duration is 156 hours. Winners 1. Yeah. All right, and then we're gonna do the same giveaway. 100 for VIP only. All right, these A388s from my San Diego, we're gonna next stream, essentially, whoever wins is when we're gonna give this out. But that way, those are stream only. I probably should make a post about that, right? Like, maybe I should probably clarify that in here, because like people might not want like once a week or less frequently, but I do want to start grinding for there we go. All right, great idea. That way next Saturday we can give them away. And next Saturday too. What did we say we want to talk about next Saturday? I already forgot. But don't worry, I'm gonna watch my stream back anyways, and I'm gonna remember. Have I seen the Boeing 777X? I have. Like the promo videos stuff. I've seen those. Yeah, looks pretty nice with the folding winglets, right? All right, we're gonna land. Start the landing manager. We're gonna do an hour and a half, because after that I need to go. My mom is here watching the baby like she usually is. Thank you, Mom. Really appreciate you. And she has something she needs to go to later today. So I told her I was gonna finish at 2 today. So you need 4 gold airplanes to buy BKK Premium Pass. I do like the BKK Premium Pass. There's some like liveries in there. There's a lot of airplanes. You got handling crew. I think it's all right. Yeah, it's a good one. And you get the A124. Tanmay said Tanmay said that the B38M is a steal with that price. I agree. Should you go with the 752 or the A306? Oh, that's a good question. In my head, I still see them as a medium plane for the 752 and a large plane for the A306. So I have to get over that. I have to unlearn that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's better right now. I'm too stuck in my old ways. That's a good question, man. Good question. I have to think about it. A306 gives negative net profit. Interesting. I'm actually surprised to hear that any plane gives negative net profit, given that I've never gone bankrupt in this game. But then again, maybe it's because I'm just handling other people's airplanes, which are also funding my regular airplanes. Maybe that's what's happening. Don't know. All right, so we are here at Prague now. Prague we unlocked a couple weeks ago, so we're level 9. These levels should go pretty quickly in the beginning, but we have to reach level 24 for regional airport, then level 35 for international, and then what level for Washington? 51. So I guess that's another good thing about these, like about Innsbruck, Bari, and Prague, is that like the levels to like unlock the next airport are much lower than they are at like San Diego and LHR, right? LHR you have to reach like level 81 to unlock Sydney, which isn't too bad at LHR in particular because you have so many stands and so many planes to handle. But like at San Diego we have to reach like level 54, which can be a little rough when you only have 4 4 of the larger passenger plane stands. Should you buy the 77W? I mean, it's hard to say. Are you okay with spending 50 something gold planes, or are you trying to find something that might be very similar but like half as much, right? So like right now, a highly recommended plane as far as like the E-class planes is like the 744, right? The 744. I don't think the price has been jacked up on that. It hasn't been increased. Let's see. That's F. E. Locked. Right. So what do we have? The 77W I have unlocked already. So I don't know what the price is, but it's probably around 56. And then, I have the 744 unlocked too. Oh no, I don't. 744 is like half the price, man. And it's very, very similar. So like, or do you want to pay twice as many gold planes just to have the most optimized airplane, the best, some people say arguably the best airplane, but or do you just spend half as many gold planes and use the other half to unlock even more planes, right? Different smaller sizes. That's what I would do, is buy the cheaper ones, because the cheaper airplanes are going to go up in price, whereas the more expensive ones, they might go up in price in the future, but it's going to be a fairly long time because you have to wait for all the other planes to go up in price too. Yeah, by net profit, you mean the revenue doesn't cover the maintenance costs? I do wish that the game told us, like, gave us some more, like, better information about the plane itself, like, and the profitability and all that. Like, I am not keeping a spreadsheet of this. I used to, when I was a small account, it was easy to like keep track, keep a spreadsheet for all my airplanes, keep track of like how much money profit it was sold. You know, every time it went to a maintenance round, I was able to kind of log it. But with the amount of airplanes that I have, it's more of a job. If I were to do that, then it would be for fun. Whereas before I was doing it for fun. So yeah, now I don't do it. I don't do any of that. I do wish there was like a API, you know, some kind of webhook, you know, that developers outside of World of Airport developers could use to kind of get game information externally. You wouldn't be able to modify it. It's really only read only, but that would be really cool, because then I would be more interested in, you know, data gathering for World of Airports. But for now, I'm just like, all right, this is the game. I'm playing it, and it's working. Okay, we don't have any large cargo planes yet, so we can land this here. That's fine. Is A388 not better than 744? A388 is also another one. I forgot about it because I already have it unlocked on this account, right? So I don't know how many gold planes it costs. But what I do know is, yeah, it's another good option as well. I really like it because it's a great plane. It makes, what, 13 to 15,000 per flight, or actually it's 8,000 to like 15,000 per flight. So that's pretty solid. As far as like its net profitability, I haven't had to notice, you know. I guess it's the problem with my playstyle is like I don't necessarily need to pay attention to a plane's profitability, because I'm just handling so many planes that it doesn't really even matter. I'm just like at mass scale, but not all of you are at mass scale, so so many of you aren't, right? Vigor, what's up? Vigor says, when I get some L planes from the premium pass, should I cancel my M non-player contracts, or should I just leave them? I have like 50 of them. I mean, it depends on your airport, right? But in general, I usually leave them. You could always cancel them. Like the reason why I cancel contracts is because I'm running out of contract capacity, so I'm going to cancel the contract. Or I want to upgrade a plane, right? You know, I want to do more player contracts. So let's say we're at Sydney, and at Sydney, really, there's no small planes that can go to players. I think there's maybe one medium plane that can go to another player at Nagoya, and then you're mainly playing with L or X planes, right? Which are DEF planes, and you know, if you want to do more player contracts, then it might make sense to get rid of some of the non-player contracts. But another thing too to keep in mind is it's nice to have the non-player contracts, because if your players that you're connected with or contracted with aren't playing every day, then it's nice to have planes that are coming back every hour, every 3 hours, every 4 hours, or however often. At least they're gonna come back every day, you know. So that is nice to have, and for me, I like that, because it also is like a checkpoint for me to know, oh, it's time to switch to another airport. I'm starting to handle all of my planes that are not going to other players. It's time to go to another airport soon. So like for me, I use that as an indicator to like move on. But it's also nice to get the silver planes and XP from just being there. If Boeing 777X comes out, then WoA is going to add. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know how fast they're going to add it, but they did say, you know, that's one of the planes they will be considering to add. See you later, North Red Line. Thanks for joining, man. Is Concorde possible from Leipzig to Prague? I don't think so. Leipzig to LHR is possible though, and that's a pretty fast connection. So yeah, Leipzig to Prague. I don't know if that's possible for a Concorde, but Leipzig to LHR is a fantastic connection. It's like super quick. Let me do a drop too. I haven't done a drop all stream. I don't have a Concorde. Oh gosh. Yeah, now we gotta check our contracts. That's a good call. So we got Euroland, which is from Washington. We have Airlines Santiago, which is from LHR. We have Oh! That's what Mert's saying. So you can send a Concorde from Leipzig to Prague. Wow. Round trip duration 22 minutes. That's 11 minutes one way. 32 minutes on the LHR round trip. How much on the IAD round trip? It is an hour 43. That's still not bad. That's pretty good. Leipzig, bro, I was playing Leipzig. Let's go. HR. No Concords from Muscat. Nika, wow, a lot of Concords. Let's go. Hope Red Concord's doing good. I haven't seen them lately in chat, but I know their schedule is on and off. Nika was here. Thank you for your Concords too, Manika. This is why we gotta play. This is why we gotta play Prague. Prague is such a cool airport. It's like underrated in a lot of ways because of like how like some of the other massive airports just kind of do a lot more. But like, man, just how centralized it is. It can get Concourse from Leipzig. You can get, you know, some other great contracts from Leipzig as well. You can connect with all the other European airports. You can connect with pretty much, I think, every airport in the game, right? Can you go to GRU from Prague? Maybe that one you can't get to. What's up, Rick Rashid? Oh, you just sent me a Concorde from Innsbruck. Impressive. Send me a C-17 from Innsbruck, please. Handle this. That. Concorde is an E-plane, I know. GRU Prague is probably possible, hopefully. Can get to GRU, nice. Thank you for that, Sarah. Vigor saving up 10k silver planes. Thank you for that tip. Bro, I give that tip every single week because it's such a... It's such a hard thing to kind of overcome mentally, right? So what he's saying is, like, and what I tell everybody every single time is you don't buy the one gold plane. That is for people who have like 20 or 30,000 silver planes in their account. If you don't have a lot of silver planes, you should never buy the one gold plane, right? You should always save up for the 10 gold planes. Even if you can buy this, which I can. Look, I got 3,100 silver planes. I can buy 2 gold planes right now. But you're actually overpaying, especially if you can't afford the 10, right? So you have to, like, every single player, if you can't afford the 10, then you can't afford the 1 either. You have to save up for the 10. And then once you get to the point where you're at like 20,000 silver planes or more, especially on a recurring basis, then you start buying the one. And then once you're over like 50,000 silver planes, then you could start even considering buying more contract capacity. I'm telling you, contract capacity is so underrated, because once you get more contract capacity, it actually helps you to get silver, even more silver, right? So the contract capacity is really cool, especially like, well, because you get to get more player contracts, or you get to buy more planes into your fleet. So that's going to be super helpful, because you just keep repeating it. You know, that one contract, you know, if you're buying a larger plane, you can make that contract back in less than one completed, you know, player contract cycle. So you're making your silver planes back pretty quickly, like in about, let's say 10 days, or let's say 2 weeks. So that's pretty good use of your silver planes once you have a lot more. But it's like, that's how it gets out of control, because the people who start having a lot of silver planes, then they buy more contract capacity, and then they fill up that contract capacity, and then they get more contracts, which then means more contracts are completed, which means more silver planes, more XP. Even in St. Martin is another airport that you might want to consider buying more contract capacity if once you have a lot of silver planes, right? Because St. Martin, a slow airport, and there's not a lot of stands to buy a lot of contracts. There's not a lot of contracts added in the premium pass either. So buying more contract capacity could get you more contracts and let you spend a little bit more time in that airport, which then will get you more XP, more silver planes too. What's up, Arya Stan? Pat, should I get a 738 Max with your 10 gold planes? I'd probably, it would be up there on my consideration list, especially when you compare it to other similar planes, which are, you know, twice as much or more. Brenbro wants to see a World of Airports lower the cooldown for the 10,000 silver planes to 10 gold planes. 1 week seems a little much if you're making more than 10 silver planes in a week. Yeah, we need, I think, I know where you're coming from. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with you, but I also don't disagree with you. I think what we really need, though, is more ways like that are like kind of optional to spend our silver planes, right? The tower managers are like great, but tower managers also, like, a lot of people felt like World of Airports is now like charging us more for the airplanes because of the increase in price, right? So for some people, the tower managers feel like it's not optional, right? It's something that you need to use in your game. It is optional though, but we need more things that we can spend silver planes on. That's why, like, one of the things I was thinking about, I was wondering if, like, starting an alliance in the game would cost like a good amount of silver planes, you know? I think that would be a good use of us, you know, charging silver planes. But what other features could use silver planes, so that way we have ways to spend it? You know, lowering the cooldown is a cool option too. I don't see that happening. I don't think I can't even, I don't think that would ever happen. That'd be amazing if it happened, right? But the reason why I don't think that would happen is because they're already giving away their premium currency, and it's costing, I mean, you can get a Concorde in a year if you play a lot, which is great. You know, I like being rewarded for my time. That is cool. But as far as like a game dev standpoint, I much rather, like, if I were them, I would much rather get $100 from somebody spending 100, like, you know, to unlock the Concorde, than somebody spending a year playing. In some ways, it's also nice to have somebody who's dedicated and playing, and most likely playing with other people too, and keeping them engaged. So it's like one of those weird areas. But what am I trying to get at? I think we need more ways to spend our silver planes, and if that's, you know, shortening a cooldown, that could work. But I think we need more features that utilize optional gameplay mechanics, and by using silver planes. It's like even the delayed plane, you know, using silver planes to make that plane undelayed. just isn't like worth it. It's too expensive, right? Especially when that contract, you're not getting 100 silver planes from a contract, but it's going to cost you 100 silver planes to turn that contract into a positive handling, right? So we just need more ways to spend our silver planes, because once you're over like 50,000 silver planes, like you continue to play somewhat consistently, you're never running out. I mean, yeah, you can run out. You can buy contract capacity in every single airport. There's ways you can run out, like, yes. But at a certain point, like, I'm at the point where it's like I'm at 3.3 million now silver planes, and it's like I'm never gonna run out. But I also have hundreds, maybe I have thousands of contracts with players, so I'm never gonna. It's a fact. I'm never gonna run out of silver planes. I play the game a lot. I play with a lot of other players. Like, how do they solve that? I think, alliances. If you want to start an alliance, it should cost silver planes to start an alliance. Maybe a speed up button that uses silver planes instead, right? I know before it used to be wallers, but what if they introduced a method that you could speed up all your planes in the airport by like 10 seconds for 100 silver planes or something like that? Maybe something like that could be something that's silver plane usable. It lets us be more efficient with our time, because essentially silver planes is rewarding us for our time playing the game. So it would be cool to also be able to pay for time back. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that would be a cool option with silver planes. But yeah, I definitely want to see more ways to spend silver planes, but that's not a problem that a lot of players have. It's like a minor subset of players have this problem with a massive amount of silver planes. So, like, as a game developer, do you spend a lot of effort working on a minor population, or do you spend your time on something that everybody's going to get impacted and enjoy? I would spend time on things that impact everybody, but every once in a while, it's nice to have the updates that also help the large players, or the minority of players, like just them adding the option to buy multiple planes. Most players are never going to have to, like, they're not going to have enough wallers to buy multiple planes at once. But the fact that they inserted that is nice, a nice little head nod to, the large players. If you have a lot of gold planes, why not buy all airports? I do not endorse buying airports. I do not like getting things or buying things that I can get for free. That's just how I feel about a lot of things in life, but especially in world airports. If I can get it for free, then why wouldn't I try to get it for free? Now, I did unlock San Diego with gold planes, and I did unlock LHR with gold planes, but I did that mainly because as a streamer, I think it would be boring if every week I was just playing one airport consistently, nonstop, essentially. For me, maybe not just as a streamer, but as the gamer too, I might get bored too. I don't think that would happen as much as it would be more boring for you guys to watch. So at least this way, now I have multiple airports to switch around and play different airports. And also, like, when you're in a brand new airport, like when you're in a brand new Innsbruck, you can only do so much in the beginning of your airport. Like, you can't unlock everything. You don't have everything available. You have to, wait to level up to get more handling crew. So, yeah, I do not like buying things that I could get for free. Now, if, let's say I bought Washington Airport and they gave me some sort of reward anyways, even though I had Washington Airport unlocked already, that would change my perspective, Let's say, so right now what happens is if you reach this level and if you already have this airport unlocked and you hit claim, nothing happens. But if you were to get maybe half of the gold planes that you spent on that airport back from just claiming it, bro, I would claim so many more airports, because at least I get like some kind of reward back later on. But you know, it's almost like a refund, you know, like here's half of your gold planes back, or I'm not even asking for all of my gold planes back, just some of them. And then I would have more more reason to consider to unlock a different airport. But right now it's like I reached that level, and if that airport's already unlocked, nothing happens. Like, you don't get anything, so it doesn't feel the greatest. But I know why they can't do that. They can't do that because everybody in 2.0 started at level 0. So if they were to give you gold planes back for this level, for example, they would essentially be giving some people free gold planes that they didn't necessarily like earn or deserve, because they unlocked, you know, Washington before 2.0, whether that's from gold planes or from leveling up in before in 1.5. But that's why they can't do it that way. But I would love to see something like that still. Guys, you're playing eFootball. Let's go. I'm gonna watch some soccer later. They should add a better conversion rate for the time you have to wait. Or maybe add another tier, right? I would not be against another tier. You know, maybe with a longer cooldown. No, but at the same time, they're giving away gold planes, and that's like, from their point of view, it must be like they're giving away revenue, right? And like, servers aren't free, you know. Everything costs money. So it might be a little tough for them. All right, what we're gonna do here, these stands are unlocked, but they don't have the F size unlocked. So I want to see if I have any F planes waiting to land. I do, from Erdis of Arfaya. I do want to get the Concords landed. Ooh, my first AN-22 handling. Let's go. So I did handle all of the Concords from Leipzig. So next we're going to land the Concords from LHR. And we're doing LHR next because that's the next closest. I only got 1 more hour. So I know the Concords from Leipzig and LHR could potentially come back if the other players are playing that other airport. Whereas the Concorde from Washington might not come back, but I'll land those next. And I don't think we have a Concorde from Muscat, which is very interesting. Muscat is a definite, like, an underrated airport. Not enough people talk about Muscat, and I wonder why. I wonder why sometimes, because like, Muscat has 2 runways. Both runways are used for landings and departures, which is a huge complaint about LHR. Muscat has a lot of stands to handle a good amount of D, E, and F planes. Muscat does not have a lot of cargo, so that's maybe a problem. But I feel like Muscat is just slept on. That's why I really want to focus on playing more San Diego, at least on this account, so I can unlock Muscat and we can talk a lot more about it, because I think Muscat is very, very underrated. Have I ever gotten AN-225 or C-17 contract? I think AN-22 from other players, yes. As far as like an international, like one from one of these, oh, look at this. We have M-plane contract from C Club. Let's go. I think Adam Cack's a renewal. Oh no, it can't be a renewal. It's a brand new airport. What were we saying? Oh yeah, AN-225. I've never received as an international, regional, or local contract. So no, I've never seen an AN-225 in one of those. A C-17, I've received a few C-17s before. I forget which airport though, but I do remember receiving a C-17 as a contract before. All right, let's go to Hearted Plains. Oh, Manika's here, so we definitely need to get that landed. That's the one thing too, guys. I really like appreciate it when you chat, because especially if you have a contract with me on this account, because that lets me know that you're here. So especially if I'm assigning planes to land, I'm gonna try to prioritize your plane because I know you're here and you're probably playing with me. And that's the whole idea about the stream account. I do wish I could stream longer. That's why I'm looking for a sponsor this year, because like technically, if I were to have a babysitter during the time that I'm streaming, I wouldn't be able to afford the babysitter. You know, I'm not making enough money on the stream to afford a babysitter. Luckily, my mom's coming, so she doesn't charge us, right? She just wants to spend time with her grandson, and with me too, I guess, sometimes. But so I really appreciate mom, you know, helping out that way. But if mom wasn't here, then I wouldn't be able to be streaming as much, you know? So just, you know, something that's why I'm looking for a sponsor, guys. That's like the first goal is like, I want to be able to do longer streams and more streams. So like if I could make this stream that we do on Saturdays, instead of it making like 3 hours, if I can make it 4, 5, or 6 hours, that means a bunch of people from all over the world, different time zones, have a chance to jump in and join. I know some of you guys would hate it if I streamed for 6 hours because you want to watch the entire stream. But there's always a recording available on YouTube. But yeah, I appreciate you guys who do try to stay for the entire stream. Like really, that's really cool of you guys. What's up, Infinite Flight fan? Says, sorry if I didn't handle your CRJX. I'm very now busy at Bari. Nah, bro, no worries if you're talking to me. I don't really keep... The only airport that I keep track of things like that is in a brand new airport when I'm not max level yet. So like right now, that's GRU. So GRU, I'm keeping an eye on my major planes that are in my fleet planes. So like my fleet planes that are going to players, I'm keeping an eye on them to see if they're coming back. And it's not I'm not keeping an eye on them for them to come back every day. It's like I just want them to come back like every once in a while. More frequently is better, right? It helps me level up. But my CRJX you're probably talking from is coming from my LHR most likely, right? And yeah, at that airport I'm max level even with the new levels that they added on. And I have plenty of contract capacity still, so I'm not struggling on contract capacity. I don't need to cancel contracts to get more capacity. So everything is good there, brother. I would very much appreciate it if you could get a volume discount when you buy fleet planes. That's actually a pretty solid thought. I like that because you know, World of Airports, they used to have sales in the game, right? And they used to have sales. So like one time they had a sale where buying a plane was cheaper, so they discounted the cost in gold planes and at that time silver planes. So like we know they have that capability, but we haven't seen that in like 2 or 3 years. So maybe they lost the capability of doing that. I don't know. I've heard of things like that happening where code just gets lost and then they don't know how to re-implement it. But we've seen, you know, discounted prices. And then for like the A388 anniversary, which was like 1 or 2 years ago as well, they also discounted the price of the price of buying an A388 in Wallers. So we definitely saw that like in the past they had the capability of doing discounts. But yeah, if we bought 10 planes and we were able to get a discount, I would love that. That would be really cool. That would be really cool. The AN225 takes 19 workers, yeah. But like I think you could put like 7 on there if you're willing for it to work for an hour. But even with 19 workers, it still takes like almost 30 minutes to handle. Hanmei's going for the IAD premium pass. Nice. Oh my gosh, I'm like 20 minutes behind in chat. 10 minutes behind. Yeah, 10 minutes behind. Monkey, what's up, Monkey Sim? Monkey is M. Sorry. Monkey says 100K to make an airline would be cool. For example, vehicle sim games on Roblox have custom companies. That would be like, that's another thing too. Like maybe unlocking your own logo, right? You know how they said like player liveries were going to be a thing? Maybe they charge silver planes for that. Maybe that's, I just don't know how newer players or people who don't have a ton of silver planes would feel about that. But like, I feel like that's fair, mainly because it's essentially trading your, like, silver planes are your reward for playing the game, for putting time into playing the game, right? And you should be either getting time back, which is what you get for, you know, the ATC, or you should be getting rewarded, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about really how that would affect the entire community. It's tough to be a developer, man. Oh, and by the way, I actually started. You know how I think I told you guys a couple times in the past that it'd be really cool if I was able to like create my own game inspired by World of Airports. So, last week I actually started. I used AI, but I started working with AI to create like a game. I think what I'm gonna do though is I want to document my process of going through, like, of learning how to use AI to create a game and learning how to create a game, because you can't just rely on AI. You also need to like modify some of the code sometimes, and I think I can do that. But maybe like I can record the whole process and how that goes, and then eventually we can have a Phat Airlines, you know, game inspired by World of Airports. David says the more I play this new UI, the more I like it. Nice. Yeah, for me, I really I just love like how tapping is just not as needed as it was before. Like, such a huge difference for me. Especially when I'm like, for me, I'm playing like 4, 5, 8, 12 hours a day. Like having to tap a little bit less, but still get all the same functionality, and also still not feel like everything is on autoplay is very nice. Hockey fan, you bought St. Martin with gold planes to give you an option to tackle the airport list. That's what's up. That's a good that's a choice that I would probably make too as a new player. Especially now that, because like when I started this Phat Empire account, LHR was the latest airport, right? So there was no airports after LHR. So it didn't make sense to unlock St. Martin at that time. But now with St. Martin, LHR, Sydney, BKK, MSY, GRU, you have such a good you have a good number of airports after St. Martin, and then St. Martin Airport is only 4 gold planes. It makes a lot of sense for a lot of players to unlock it if they know what they're getting into, right? It's not a quick airport. You have a lot of levels to go through. You just got to enjoy the experience, and eventually you'll get to LHR, which will then get you to all the other airports at the end of the pass. And I think it's an option, but I'm very, very careful about recommending it, because I know not a lot of people get bored at St. Martin because they're trying to play it like a large airport, and they're trying to get through it quickly because they really want to get LHR and get to the next airport. But that's not the way to approach St. Martin at all. Oh, QJ reached international status at GRU. Nice. Have I been on a vacation? Yeah, we went to Mexico in March. Me and the family. That is a celebrity in the game. That was also, well, not being a celebrity, but then the second part, like everyone send their planes to him. That's part of the reason. Another reason why I wanted to like start this is, you know, maybe I could get more contracts or more connections, but like ultimately, like what I like doing in life is really helping other people. And in this game, I make videos and I help people that way, and then I can also be their contract partner. That's why I really love the change that they made from 1.5 when you were doing connections versus contracts now in 2.0 and beyond. With connections, you could only connect to a specific airport to one player, and they also only had a 4-hour time period where they could handle your plane. So it was a cool experience. It was different, and it was great for that time. But for what I'm doing now, like I'm able to connect with, you know, hundreds of different people, maybe even thousands of people now. I got contracts going to a variety of people, and I'm able to help all of them get some silver planes or XP or whatever they're looking to get, or just give them reasons to play World of Airports. Always the grandson. Don't kid yourself. I remember what I was talking about there too. That's pretty funny. Which is the best airline for you? I mean, like IRL, I wouldn't know. In the game, any airline that gives me the A388 is a great airline in my book. Why are they removing unique liveries from V1 when they remodel it? I don't know. With the most recent remodels, that seems to be what happened. Like the B77LF, right? We lost like the packages livery, which is kind of sad. A lot of other airplanes, like look at the AT-76, for example. The AT-76, actually, let's look at it right now. The AT-76 has a bunch of liveries from older, that are special, unique to this plane, and they're just called special 1, special 2, 3. So I don't know why they didn't do that with some of the newer planes that they recently remodeled. There's probably a reason behind it, but they haven't publicly mentioned anything. But all these other, you know, like the AT-76 is my go-to example because it has the most amount of special liveries, and therefore the most amount of liveries of any plane. But even the A388 is another one, right? We could go to the A388, and the A388 has special liveries, right? You got special 4, and then you got special 1, 2, 3. So I don't know why, like some of the newer planes, they completely just disregarded a plane. That makes me sad. Yo, what's up, Kamikaze? Thank you for 19 months. Dang, nice. I appreciate the support, bro, and thanks for hopping in. You found a parrot from GRU. I haven't really been looking. Like, I don't really zoom in that much, but that's actually not a bad idea to look for one. Okay, cool. I'm caught up on chat now, so that's really nice. All right, let's watch this Concorde take off. Like the Concorde was going faster at San Diego, right? Or maybe it's just because we're so close. That's cool. That is cool. Alright, I'm gonna have to buy what an X-plane contract. Let's go. Watch this plane take off though. What is best opinion on WoA? I'm not even sure what that question means. And WoA is such a beautiful game though too. Best grind, like the best airport for grinding, or like the best strategy to grind. What do I get at the next level? I mean, in my opinion, the best thing is to play with other players, but you have to do it in moderation at the beginning of a new airport. You know, if I had a lot more non-player planes in this airport, I would probably be at a higher level. Also, if I played more frequently, right? But if I had more non-player planes, I would be at a higher level because I would be getting like 2 XP here, 5 XP there. Instead, what I'm doing is I have a lot more player contracts, so my ratio is really out of whack when it comes to it. But if I were to have more non-player contracts, then I'd be able to get some XP here and there. Now, once you start reaching like those higher levels, like 20, 30, then it's like, all right, having 1 XP doesn't really help you that much. That's when you really want the 10 contracts. But once these contracts complete with players, like I'm going to jump like 3 or 4 levels at a time, which is like really nice to see as well. It's really nice when that happens. All right, so we got to park some event planes. I got to land some event planes so that way I could get some contract capacity. So that way I can send Hammy a plane. I try to spend too many gold planes, you know what I'm saying? And we Hammy redeemed an X plane, so we need to go to offers, configure and buy. How much more do I need for this A388? Back to the top. I'm not spending. Yep, there we go. And you said full accent, nice. That's over here. Accent purple. I need 60,000 more wallers. I don't know if I'm gonna get that just from handling planes. So look, Mertz Concorde is back. It's back. That's amazing. This one looks like it's done. Nope. It takes longer for the plane to taxi than it does for to travel in the air. I think the A388 livery for the Air Nippon is weird. Interesting. I haven't really looked. I really don't have a lot of non-player planes too. Got 40 minutes, probably less. Order salute. Singapore Airlines, nice. I think that's going to be a new Woapedia for this account too. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to have to buy some wallers for this contract. We're going to have to do this one right here. I'm going to go configure and buy. And Emmy, where did you want the plane? Whatever airport. Okay, I see. I'm going to configure this airplane. Let's click on LHR. Come on. Okay. And yeah, I doubted it, but I wanted to check. Muscat. How long is this round trip? Does it say? Oh, 1 hour 19 minutes. Is that round trip or one way? Got 18, which is 7-Eleven, and then 26.35. I'm gonna configure it for Muscat, Hammy. Unless let's go. Actually, I'm gonna go back here because Muscat, it says an hour and 19 minutes. Washington is an hour 54. Or do you want it to GRU? Which one is GRU? Right over here. We get it to GRU? Man. But it's up. Isn't the predicted profit inaccurate? I think the way the predicted profit works, like the profit per round trip number you're seeing here, I believe that is the minimum profit to expect. So if your contract is in like the red, where you're not handling your planes on time, then that's probably the profit that you're gonna get. But if your contract is in the green, then your plane is also being handled. Your plane is going to be closer to full capacity the more you handle the plane that's in the green. So I think if you're in the red, is what you're going to see in the that profit per round trip. That's like a minimum. But if you're in the green, you get a lot more. I've never had a plane in the red though. Maybe like one handling in the red or two or three, but never the entire plane in the red. So I've never had a chance to like really even test it or look at it. But that's my educated guess. It's also based on like what I know about World of Airports too. Any more Concords? Just one departing. Okay. 10 minutes on that, a minute on that, 2 minutes over there, 5 minutes over there, 10 minutes. Okay, nice. No plane on the runway. That's good. Or oh, that one's departing. Wow. China Airlines. GRU works too? Yeah, let's do GRU. $43.13 or $49.10 could be better for profit. Let's take a look actually. But we're gonna send this to GRU instead, so let's reconfigure it. We're gonna go down here. GRU. So it says 11 for first class. So yeah, like you see here, there's not a big difference between 11 and 10. Yeah, 49.10 or 43.13. Let's see what that looks like for GRU. I don't know if you were talking about GRU. Yeah, not for GRU, for IAD or Muscat, that might be better. Apply. There we go. I'm gonna heart that plane too. Right, let's. Oh, I was about to tell that plane to line up. I'm glad I couldn't. Oh, here's another event plane landing. Nice. Time to go experiment it, Tanmay said. Yeah, good job, man. All right, good luck, good luck. Let us know how that works. But I think that's what makes the most sense, because as you lose reputation, like as your contracts are finishing with the thumbs down in the red, the capacity that your airplanes are filled at is also lower. Therefore, your profit is lower. So that's how I think it works. Concord go 9, yeah. Is there a way to play WoA on PC? There's no official way. And for example, when 3.0 came out, so people do play World of Airports on an Android emulator, which is like a a program you can install on your computer. There's like BlueStacks is probably one of the more popular ones, but when World of Airports updated to 3.0, they don't support playing on an emulator. This is a mobile game, right? So they're supporting, you know, your phone and your tablets, and they do what they can to make sure it's working on those devices. But what happened on 3.0 is that, you know, a lot of things were broken for people who are playing on PC using BlueStacks or emulators. So I don't really recommend them because they're not officially supported by World of Airports developers. They will eventually, usually eventually update the game, so that way those errors that are found with, you know, BlueStacks or other emulators are resolved. But I personally, I would rather just, I don't like the terms of service and the privacy policies that are also included with those emulators. So that's another red flag for me. But emulators is the way you could play on PC. Not officially supported. You will run into some issues. You will run into some bugs, especially after a major update or something like that. Eventually, they might get fixed. They might not, but it's not supported directly by the developers. They just do it because they know some people play on those platforms. If you have a Mac, though, you can natively play iPhone and iPad games on your Mac. As long as it's like one of the Macs that were made in the last 5 years or so. It needs to have like the M1 chip or better. But on Macs, you can play World of Airports on your MacBook natively, because essentially it's just using the game app. So if I play on a MacBook Pro, MacBook Air sometimes, and on my MacBook Air, it's just playing the iPad app. So on a MacBook or a Mac Mini or any kind of Mac that you have, you can natively play. It's your second day and you're level 25 at Innsbruck. Nice. What are you doing at Innsbruck that's getting you so many levels so fast? It's pretty awesome. Your friend experienced any glitches on emulators when 3.0 came? Yeah, I mean that just like, they don't do that on purpose. You know, it's not like they're like trying to like tell people don't play on an emulator. That's not what they're doing, but they just don't support emulators, you know? It's not their primary platform. It's a mobile game first. So yeah, when that was happening though, I was like, this is why I don't recommend it, you know? If the developers don't support it, and if the developers offer limited support when it comes to issues that you're having on an emulator, then I'm not going to recommend it either. And then when I did try it, I was having issues too. So I was like, and then I read the terms of service, because that's what I like to do too. I've read the World of Airports terms of service and privacy policies and everything. I read almost every single one for all these different games that I play. It's pretty interesting, the things they slip in there. Not World of Airports, but like other games. Some of the stuff they slip in there, like about arbitration and, you know, some of the data that I thought would be mine, but it actually belongs to them according to their terms of service. It's kind of crazy, kind of incredible, but nobody reads them, and it's not like I can go in there and be like, yeah, I just want to strike out that line. Like, there's no negotiation. It's like you either agree or you're out. So it's like a mafia, you know, video game mafia. All right, we're gonna land my A388. Hammy, we're gonna send it to your GRU. I'll call it out when I send it, so that way you can maybe accept it. Hammy, with that X-Plane redemption really helping me with my leveling up. No one reads the TOS. I know, man. It reminds me like that South Park episode. I know many of you guys are too young to for South Park though. But yeah, I read the terms of services because I know there's nothing I can do about it, but also in certain games it also kind of lets you know what's allowed, like what is cheating and what's not cheating, you know? So like there's certain things that they'll actually say in their terms of service that almost feel like cheating, but it's completely allowed, right? So it's like, oh, I can do this. Okay. It's like reading the game rules for like, RPGs or real-time strategy games. Reading the game rules and figuring out how things work. Also, it's cool to know also how you can delete your data from different companies. I've done that with a few companies where I just told them I'm completely done with you and you are done with me. Delete my data. And I would go through their process, where I would tell them, like, I have to, you have to tell them exactly what they say in their terms of service. You have to email the right email address. So Well, Trucker says, I hope I can get golden coins from you or airplanes. I have no way to give gold planes away. That is something only developers can do. I do wish that there was maybe a function in the game where I can send another player gold planes, or buy another player gold planes. I still have to use my Apple account to buy the planes, but another player can be the recipient. I think that would be really cool. I would do a lot more contests and competitions if that was the case, but definitely not something that's in the game right now. And I'm not a developer, so there's no superpowers that I have. I'm just a regular guy like you guys with a YouTube channel and Twitch channel. You send a plane to Prague. Nice. You can we have our phatairlines.com newsletter, so I would definitely advise you to sign up on phatairlines.com. We often have planes that can reach Prague on that newsletter. So in that newsletter, one of the key benefits of signing up is that every 2 or 3 weeks we send out a contract email where everybody, literally every single person who replies back will get a plane that we're giving away. So like this week we're giving away a CRJ-2F from my Leipzig, and that can go to Prague, it can go to Bari, it can go to LHR. So every single person that replies to that email can get a plane. There's only one plane, but hey, that's over 100 planes that I'm giving away. We're going to add more emails as well, so that way we can still give away planes, but maybe not all of those are going to be guaranteed. Some of them are going to be giveaways, but we will always have guaranteed email contracts as well. So that way everybody can win, right? That's kind of important to me. I want there to be an equal chance at people to winning, but also wanted to make sure there's a way for everybody to get something, so it's not up to chance. Sometimes it just stinks being unlucky, time after time after time. I know how that feels. And then Phat Airlines Discord is another place you can go. Every once in a while, like actually pretty often, I have planes that can go to Prague, but there's not a lot of people on the Discord that are looking for planes to receive at their Prague. So if you make a post on the contract board, make sure you add the tag for Prague, and whenever I have a plane that's ready, that's configured to go to Prague and ready to go, then you will be probably the top of the list. Another thing I encourage people to do is like update your post, let people know that you're still looking. And then, of course, delete your post or close your post if you are done looking, because sometimes these posts will be brought back up to the top of the list, even though you're no longer playing that airport, because somebody's asking, hey, are you still playing? But you never updated your post. Therefore, now they don't know and they have to ask. And now your post is getting all the attention because it's up there on the recents. What is the best airport that is new? There's a lot of great airports in the game. BKK is fantastic with the 3 runways that it has. GRU is pretty fun. You can really handle a large amount of large planes there, so that's a really fun airport to play for that reason. MSY is all right. It's if you like medium airports and medium planes, then MSY is going to be really great. St. Martin is just a beautiful looking airport. It's relaxing for a lot of many, especially if you're not like trying to like level up or grind. QJ said, I know the South Park episode with Apple terms, yeah. And you get info on San Diego. You might want to look back at the beginning of the stream. We were playing at San Diego. At San Diego, I mean, if you're brand new there, you want to unlock like every airport. You want to try to unlock the largest stand possible and get like 1 or 2 player contracts, so that way you can get some money, right? Because the larger planes is what's going to give you money. So that's going to be really beneficial. Additionally, I think the strategy for new airports going forward is about unlocking the A stand. The A stand will just, if you unlock the A stand, which is like this lowest on this multiple gates, you get the handling crew and you get contract capacity for that. So that could be very helpful for allowing you to get more contracts in, so that way you can get a few more large contracts. You still want to handle small and medium planes too, but the large contracts are what make you money, so that's why it's important to have those too. And then San Diego, don't forget that at San Diego there are a few stands that are that have D planes that can take D planes. You want to maybe unlock those too, because then you can handle like some quite a few large passenger planes at once, which then you're gonna get limited by handling crew. So it's always just a balance of making sure you have the right amount of, like, you're handling those large planes first, but then you're filling in the other stands with like the smaller planes based on how much handling crew you have left over. Same thing here at Prague, right? If I'm only pretty much handling the large planes, and I could probably, if I was manually landing planes, or if I can adjust the landing order, I could probably get some more B planes landed, so that way we can use, we can have some variety, but also use more of our handling crew passively in between these very large planes. See if we're gonna get a B plane next. Oh, this one landed, right? That's good. I wanted that one to land. And line up the Concorde. Would you suggest I unlock the IAD airport with a golden airplane? Probably not, man. Probably not. I feel like Innsbruck and Bari and Prague are not difficult airports to level up. I mean, granted, I'm only level 10 at Prague, and I only play this account once per week, and I don't play Prague every day either, every week. So I think that it's those levels to go through Innsbruck, Bari, and Prague are very achievable. And if you were to pay 20 gold planes to unlock an airport, which is how much I think IAD costs now to unlock, if you were to pay 20 gold planes to unlock an airport, you're probably better off doing one that's at the later end of or towards the bottom of the list, which are one of the newer airports. So that way you could work on something you could work on, like unlocking more airports. Washington, I don't really it's a great airport, like, don't get me wrong. And if it was later on in the airport unlocking sequence, I would definitely recommend it, right? But because of where it's at, it's airport number 4 and not like airport number 6 or 7. I don't think it's worth spending the gold planes for it. I think you're better off leveling up the other airports, or unlocking a different airport. Well, yeah, I mean, both are the same, right? You want to level up the other airports to unlock Washington and use those 20 gold planes to unlock a different airport instead. Also, I'm not a big fan of unlocking airport or buying airports for gold planes. But I know that's something that has to be done sometimes for some people, so I get it. What's up, Easy Nuts? Nice to see you, bro. How you doing, man? Long time no see, but I've been seeing your planes, so I hope you're doing well. So the Wild Tucker says silver planes are expensive. We get less, up to 35,000 for 100 gold coins. So yeah, silver planes are your reward for your time, right? So you're playing the game and you're getting silver planes as a reward for finishing the contracts, right? For your time with playing the game. Now, that's why I don't recommend trading in gold planes for silver planes at all, because of that rate. You know, that 100 gold planes for 35,000 silver planes, definitely not worth it, unless you have unlimited gold planes, which most of us don't. Because otherwise, I mean, what are you spending your silver planes on that you're buying you're buying 35,000 silver planes? You should be spending your silver planes on buying gold planes, not really the other way around. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, silver planes are your reward for playing the game, right? And then you can trade that in for additional gold planes. I would never. The only time like it makes sense to buy more silver planes is if you're on a brand new account. You got, you know, your parents' credit card, and they said go ahead and spend some money on gold planes, and you're like, all right. And then you wanted to, you know, buy some ATC towers and things like that, and you want some international contracts, even though you're a local airport, which is also, in my opinion, a waste of silver planes. Yeah, very limited reason why I would recommend buying silver planes for gold planes. But you should always buy gold planes for silver planes. As soon as you reach 10,000, instantly buy. I'm not reaching 10,000 today, which is sad. I always try to reach 10,000. Maybe if I played LHR today, I might have reached 10,000. But I gotta switch up the airports, because the only way I can make progress in an airport is by playing the airport, right? How do you level up faster? You play more. But not only play more, you play daily. You have to play like more frequently. So like if you're playing for 8 hours a day in one airport, you're not going to make the same amount of progress as if you spent, you know, 1 hour for every day for the week. Because if you're playing for 8 hours, right, this plane right here, which I'm sending to Hammy, and it's going to GRU, it's a 6-hour round trip. You see that? So even if I'm playing for 8 hours, I'm only going to possibly see this plane twice, right? Once right now, and then another time in 6 hours. That's only if, and that's if Hammy's playing in 3 hours from now at GRU when that plane happens to arrive. So, yeah. So yeah, that is why playing for 1 hour per day is probably more preferred than playing for 8 hours one time a week. You know, I play for 3 hours one time a week, and I'm making progress. Don't get me wrong, but I would make so much more progress if I streamed daily, logged into this account daily, and handled planes daily for even 1 hour on one airport every single stream. That would be game changing. That would make things go a lot faster. So that is how you can level up quick. What could you use gold planes for? So I typically recommend using gold planes on premium passes and unlocking plane models, right? I definitely never recommend, like, don't ever, well, see, I have to be careful because when people are buying gold planes, like, you're spending your money, you spend it the way you want, right? And there are some situations where it makes sense to buy silver planes for gold planes. I've done it before, right? Especially on a brand new account, you need some silver planes to kind of get the ball rolling. Well, if you wanted to get the ball rolling fast, like I usually do. So yeah, it can make some sense, but for the most part, don't spend your gold planes on buying silver planes. Don't spend your gold planes buying wallers either. Now, my only time it might make sense to buy wallers using gold planes is maybe in a brand new airport, because being able to unlock more stands can be super beneficial for your game, because then you get more handling crew, you get more contract capacity, so that can be very helpful. Gold planes to buy handling crew is kind of expensive, so that really depends. I do recommend it in like airports like Leipzig, where you're going to constantly, even if you have the premium pass there, you're going to constantly run into handling crew issues. Even if you claim all the free ones and the silver plane ones, you're still going to run into handling crew issues at Leipzig. So that could be helpful. And then for contract capacity, that can depend. I would always recommend going for the silver plane one first, depending upon how many silver planes you have. But if you can't afford the silver plane ones, it might be a cool idea to quickly get some contract capacity, but somebody was doing the math before, right? And if you can trade 10,000 silver planes for 10 gold planes, then it's actually like a worse conversion rate when you think about it, because if you can buy this 10 times, you're going to get 10 contracts, right? And you're paying 9 gold planes for this. So I would, that really depends. So like all this stuff here, I probably wouldn't buy for gold planes. I would buy plane models for gold planes. That's something I would 100% recommend. Certain liveries you can't get for free either. There are other liveries you can get for free, but there are some liveries you cannot get for free. So those liveries I would, which I don't have a list of. I need to make a list. But there are some liveries you can't get for free, so those are the ones you want to buy for gold planes. And of course, the premium passes. The premium passes are usually the first thing I'll recommend for most airports to get. It's kind of hard to recommend IAD because of how expensive it is, 110 gold planes. But most of the other airports that are in the game are really like instant buy premium passes. So that is the way I would spend my gold airplanes. Have you landed the Clean Fish or Conch? I don't know what that is, but the Concorde, yeah, I've played the landing minigame on the Concorde a few times. It's pretty interesting. It's different because the plane moves so fast, but it's still the same. I think Mike's on vacation. Some of the planes you've earned, especially some of the small ones for cargo or passengers, some you've not earned completion of contract. So, I mean, like, if you look at these planes, like, look at this one right here. This contract is at 0 out of 2. So, when it comes to, like, any plane that you're handling, the contract has rewards, right? So, when you're doing a non-player contract, you're going to always start off at Tier 1. And Tier 1 only requires 1 handling. So once you finish that 1 handling, then you have the option to, then you're going to upgrade your contract, because when you upgrade your contract, you have to do more handlings, but you get bigger rewards as well. So for Tier 1, you handle 1 airplane and you only get 4 silver planes and 1 XP. But at Tier 2, you handle the airplane twice and you get 3 times the rewards, right? So definitely much more worth it, and it keeps increasing as you keep going up in tiers. So you have to handle. I have to handle this plane 2 times before I get this contract reward, and then as you keep going, like at tier 6, you have to handle it 6 times before you get the rewards. So that is what's happening. Most likely, what's happening for you. Now, when you're on a player contract, you're automatically starting off at tier 10. So there is no tier 1. There is no tier 9. There's tier 10. So you have to handle the plane 10 times, and then you get the rewards. But look at how massive those rewards are. Pretty fantastic. Yo, what's up, Voitando? Welcome back. How was your birthday party? Or the birthday party? It wasn't yours, right? It was a birthday party. We're gonna land at A388. We want those planes landed. We're gonna bring down the B planes. Yeah, we're gonna actually end the stream pretty soon though. Wad asked about how to reach international faster. I mean, it's tough. It's always going to be tough to kind of level up because you really have to just handle more planes. Handle more planes, and the bigger the plane, the better. But one thing that could help you out is maybe handling cargo planes. Cargo planes in general give more XP than the passenger planes, but you also usually don't have as many cargo stands as passenger stands in your airport, right? So you have to be balanced. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting there waiting for planes to land while the rest of your airport is empty, which is no fun. And it feels like a waste of time for me, at least. So maybe more cargo planes can help you with leveling up. A few. Don't discount the small planes, the B planes, because the B planes can really just keep the planes coming into your airport. So while these larger planes are being handled, or while you're trying to wait for these planes to depart, you have these smaller planes also ready to handle in between. And it's a nice quick handling for everybody involved. What else for international? Event planes. Don't. Make sure you log in or check the home screen or check social media for the arriving planes. One other thing that I do, and it doesn't, I don't know if this will, it doesn't really make it only 1 or 2 XP, but I do accept the local contract every hour, and I accept the random player arrival every hour. It costs nothing to accept both of those planes except for 1 contract capacity, but once you finish handling those planes, for the random player arrival, that plane automatically, that contract gets canceled automatically after one handling. And then depending upon what level you are on the local contract, you can also cancel that local contract after the first handling. And it just keeps the planes moving in your airport, because that's the biggest thing you want to do, is you just want to keep having planes being handled, so that way when the player planes come in, you're good to go. Those are good to go. Like this B plane, the AT-75, I'm gonna confirm it to land. Once it lands, I'm gonna handle it, and then I'm gonna cancel the contract at the end. All right, we got 2 levels here today. That's pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome. We got E170 liveries. So we got Premium 1, Basic 1, and Supreme 1. Let's go. Next level, we get a gold plane. That's going to be nice. What level for regional? 24. So we got some ways to go, but I'm pretty sure once we start getting these larger planes finished, so that the XP is gonna grow. Now, unfortunately, I'm not gonna have enough time to handle all of these E planes and even the F planes, the A388s. But I do want to make sure we're getting them at least assigned, because otherwise I know what's going to happen next week or next time we play Prague is I'm going to again reassign. I'm going to assign the Concords to land first, because the Concords have such a quick travel time. It just makes it better. Like we handled Mertz playing twice, maybe 3 times in one stream. They add more packs. We don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that, but I know one of the things I would like to see, I think would be cool as a pack, is like a special airplane pack, right? That, like, maybe for, I don't know how much it would cost, right? They would have to up to the developers. But if we got a pack that gave us a Concorde, an A124, an A225, and a Beluga, bro, I would buy that every month, like, for sure. I don't know how much it would cost, but I would buy it every month, because if I could claim, and a DH-64, right? All of the special planes that are in the game, that are, either you can't unlock or it costs a lot of money to unlock. If they had a special pack for those planes, man, I would be so happy, because then I could also have, an A225 at my Washington or something, not just at Leipzig. So I think that would be really cool. A nice way for them to kind of allow players to get that plane without having to like make us unlock, or without having to have another plane that's 1,000 gold planes to unlock, and it gets some revenue. But as far as other packs, I don't know what's in the plans for that. Yeah, the offer. So that's one of the things I think is pretty cool about World of Airports. Both of this Airbus and this Boeing pack, they have a 30-day cooldown, right? So I think that's pretty awesome, because it keeps the game not pay to win, right? Because you can, if you were able to buy that pack every day, or without limit, you could essentially just buy your own fleet with real money and essentially just like breeze past the entire game. So I do like that there's a 30-day cooldown, because it keeps the pay to win people quiet. And that's one thing about World of Airports. They want it to still be accessible to all free-to-play players too. So really like what they do. Really like what they do. But yeah, guys, that is it for me for today. We didn't get to handle too many planes, but we did spend 3 hours, an hour and a half playing at San Diego, and then another hour and a half playing here at Prague. I think next week we'll probably play a little bit more Prague and some LHR. If you have contracts to my Innsbruck or Bari, and to my Phat Empire account especially, I don't know how often I'm going to go back to those airports. I know I still have levels to achieve, but maybe those are airports that I play on, like, not on Saturday. But I haven't. I've been talking about doing a stream on another day of the week, and I haven't done it yet. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but hopefully it happens soon. What else? If you guys haven't signed up already, I really strongly encourage you to join phatirlines.com. Our email newsletter is completely free, and you can get email contracts from me and from other VIPs in the community through our emails. Most of it right now, all the emails are guaranteed, but we're going to introduce some more emails that have like a giveaway or raffle type of feature. Additionally, join the Phat Airlines Discord. That's where we at. And what else? And if you're interested in maybe sponsoring Phat Airlines, feel free to reach out. You can reach out to my email, which is on phatirlines.com. You can find my email there, or you can DM me on Discord if you're interested in sponsoring the channel. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate everybody's support. Like, you all being here, it's always a blast. I love you guys asking questions, even if some of them can be repetitive and I might laugh at some of them, but honestly, I do enjoy answering them. And I know I go into long-winded rants about answering your questions, but it's because I'm trying to be helpful to you. I'm trying to help you make a decision, because I don't know how you play the game, and there's so many people who play World of Airports differently. I want to make sure that you're doing what's best in your interest, because just because I like to play with players doesn't mean you do, right? Just because I don't mind if somebody takes a week to handle my planes doesn't mean you don't mind. So I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic weekend. I will see you next Saturday on YouTube, Twitch at 11 a.m. Eastern. And again, if you don't know what time 11 a.m. Eastern is, just look at the time at Washington Airport, and that is my time as well. Guys, have a great one. I really appreciate you, and have a great day. Phat's out. Peace.